On the morning of June 6, 1944, German defenders along the Normandy coast watched an invasion unlike anything they had imagined. Thousands of British and Canadian troops were coming ashore. But according to surviving German reports and personal accounts, what shocked many defenders was not simply the size of the attack. It was the way the Allied soldiers kept moving under fire. The American experience at Omaha Beach has become the defining image of D-Day. But farther east, at Gold, Juno, and Sword, British and Canadian forces were fighting a different battle, one that left behind a remarkable psychological impression on the German troops facing them. Their reports described an enemy who seemed unusually calm, organized, and determined. Around 75,000 British and Canadian troops landed that day against German defensive positions built around fortifications, mines, artillery, and carefully planned fields of fire. On paper, these defenses were designed to inflict devastating losses on an invading army. Yet the German experience did not always match those expectations. Some German reports described British infantry continuing forward even after suffering casualties, instead of stopping for long periods to reorganize. Many units kept advancing and pressed toward their objectives. To defenders trained to expect attacking troops to lose momentum under heavy fire, this behavior was deeply unsettling. The same impression appeared in accounts concerning the British airborne operation east of the Orne River. German officers reported confusion as bridges, artillery positions, and key locations unexpectedly fell into British hands. To the defenders, the speed and confidence of the airborne troops sometimes seemed almost impossible. In reality, much of that effectiveness came from months of preparation, detailed planning, terrain study, and repeated training. Personal accounts added another dimension. Some German soldiers expected the invasion to be filled with screaming, panic, and disorder. Instead, they described British troops moving with a strange sense of purpose, as though they were carrying out something they had practiced countless times before. For some defenders, this created hesitation. German machine gun crews were accustomed to exploiting pauses when attacking infantry took heavy losses. But when those pauses appeared shorter than expected, the British advance became harder to stop. This confidence had not appeared overnight. The British Army of 1944 had been shaped by years of difficult wartime experience, from Dunkirk to campaigns in North Africa. Those setbacks forced British commanders and soldiers to adapt, improve their organization, and learn how to operate under extreme pressure. German assessments after the invasion also recognized this change. Some analysts described the British ability to reorganize during chaos and continue advancing as a quality that German doctrine had underestimated. None of this means the fighting at Gold, Juno, or Sword was easy. British and Canadian troops suffered heavy casualties, and German defenders fought fiercely at numerous strong points. But the most fascinating part of the testimony is the impression left on the men who faced them. For many German soldiers, the British advance seemed less like a desperate gamble and more like the execution of a plan already decided. That may be the most striking lesson hidden in these accounts of D-Day. The story was not only about courage under fire, it was also about preparation, discipline, adaptation, and the psychological strength of an army that had spent years learning how to fight.